Welcome back to Standard Form Part 2. Today we're going to talk about creating standard equations or linear equations in standard form when you're given 2 points. And just like we did with the point-slope form and in the slope-intercept form, when you're given 2 points, the first thing you really need to do is to find the slope. So remembering that the change in y over the change in x is how we find our slope. We're going to find our slope first, and then we're going to use one of the ordered pairs to determine what the point-slope form is. Okay? So in our example that they gave us, we have 2 ordered pairs of -2 and -1, and then 0, 4. We know that these are on the line because they're telling us so. So we're going to use that information to find our slope. So we're going to take 4 minus -1, which is the same as 4 plus 1, that's 5. And then 0 minus -2, which is the same as 0 plus 2, gives us 2. So we know that our slope is 5/2. Now we're going to take one of the ordered pairs, and it looks like they're using the 0, 4 ordered pair to write our first point slope form. So we're going to take y minus 4 equals our 5/2 times x minus our 0. And then we're going to simplify by doing our distributive property. So 5/2 x minus 0. And you don't have to write the minus 0, it's there. Now once we have it here, we can write it in our standard form by adding 4 to both sides. That moves that 4 over here. And then subtracting 5/2 x to the other side. So when I do that, I get y equals 5/2 x plus 4, because I had to add it to both sides, and then I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to get minus 5/2 x plus y equals 4. And so there it is written in standard form with this way. When I am looking at this, they have 2y minus 8 equals 5. And what they've done is they've just multiplied everything by 2 to get rid of that 5/2. Okay? So if I were to do that, let's move this over. Okay, and then so I had this y equals, well, let's just go ahead and start back from the beginning. That gotta be easier to see it. So we had our y minus 4 equals 5/2 x. And really what they wanted you to do is they wanted to get rid of that 2 as a denominator. They wanted to make sure that it's just all whole numbers. So everything is going to get multiplied by 2. And by doing that, that simplifies that to just being 5x. And this is going to be 2y minus 8. And so there we get our 2y minus 8 equals 5x. So that's where that came from. So we just got rid of the fraction portion of our slope here. Now we can very easily take our, add our 8 to both sides. And then I get my 2y equals 5x plus 8. And now to move my 5x to the left, I'm going to subtract both sides by 5x. And so I'm going to get negative 5x plus 2y equals 8, because these cancel out. And so that's where we get this. Now, remember what I told you before about sometimes they want you to have it in a positive, they want the a to be positive. So what they've done, and they've done that here, is that if I subdivide everything by -1, or if I multiply everything by -1, it works the same. Negative 5x becomes positive 5x, positive 2y becomes negative 2y, and positive 8 becomes negative 8. And that's where they've got the positive form of it. technically, both are correct. However, they're wanting it in the positive form in this case. Let's go ahead and look at B. They have two ordered pairs, 5, 2, and 3, -6 that are on the line, and they want us to find the slope. So the first thing I want you to do is to find the slope. You should have found that the slope is 4. So now substituting in one of those points, it doesn't matter which one you do, then you can write it in point slope form. So I would like you to do that for both ordered pairs. So I used my first ordered pair to do my first point slope. And so I got y minus 2 equals 4 times x minus 5. And when I simplify that, I get y minus 2 equals 4x minus 20. And then on my second point slope, I use my second ordered pair. And so I get y minus a -6, which we know is y plus 6, equals 4x minus 3. And I know if I simplify that, I get 4x minus 12. And now we're going to take and we are going to write this in our standard form. So the first thing I want to do is to simplify my equation down a little bit more so that I can work with it in the ax plus by equals c format. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use this first one. So I have y minus 2 equals 4x minus 20. And I like to move my variables to the left and my numbers to the right. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides. I'm going to get y equals 4x minus 18. And then I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. So I'm going to get negative 4x plus y equals negative 18. Because I want this to be positive, I'm going to divide everything by -1. And so it's going to be 4x minus y equals 18. And so there it is in my standard form. I want you to try number 7. I want you to find the slope and then write it in a point slope form. And then I want you to convert it to the standard form. Okay, so I found my slope. I found my difference in my y's over my difference in my x's, and I simplified, and I got -2. Then I used my first ordered pair to write my point slope, so I got y plus 7 equals -2 times x minus 4. I simplified it. I subtracted 7 from both sides. I added 2x to both sides, and I get 2x plus y equals 1. Since it is already, my a is in a positive position, I am not going to make any additional changes. So that is the answer in standard form. Take a look at number 8 and find the standard form of those 2 points. I found my slope is 1. I found my point slope using my first ordered pair. I simplified it and moved my x to the other side. I get -x plus y equals 4. Because I wanted a to be positive, I divided everything by -1. And so that meant that -x became positive x, positive y became negative y, and positive 4 became -4. So x minus y equals -4 is the correct standard form for this equation. The last part is creating linear models in standard form. We're going to write an equation in standard form to model the linear situation. So it says a tank is filling up with water at a rate of 3 gallons per minute. So that means in 1 minute it is 3 gallons. The tank already had 3 gallons in it before it started filling. If x is the number of minutes and the y is the number of gallons, if I looked at my ordered pair, if x is the minutes and y is my number of gallons, so my ordered pair is going to be 1, 3. We know that it already had 3 gallons in it before it started to fill. So, and it's also got a rate of 3 gallons per minute. So the slope is also going to be 3. So if I add 3 to 3, I'm going to get 6. So let's go ahead and work this out. So we're going to substitute the slope and the coordinates. And we did so. The slope is our 3. That's there. and my ordered pair for y is 3, and my ordered pair, oh, nope, I made an error. Let's go back. So it started before no time's passed. It had 3 gallons. So there's my ordered pair there. The slope is my 3 gallons per minute. That's where I made my error. So we're going to substitute in our information. So I have my rate of change is 3. My ordered pair is 0, 3. I simplified it. I moved my 3x to the other side. And when I do that, I get negative 3x plus y equals 3, because I moved the 3 over here and the 3x over here. And then to get everything so that my a is positive, I divide everything by negative 1, and that gives me 3x minus y equals 3. A tub is filled with 440 gallons of water being drained. After 1.5 hours, the amount of water decreased to 320 gallons. The initial amount of water in the hot tub was 440 gallons, so at 0 amount of time, it had 440 gallons. So this point is on the line. After 1.5 hours, the amount of water decreased to 320. So if my time is 1.5 and my gallons is 320, I get the ordered pair of 1.5 and 320. So we're going to use that information to find the slope. So when I find my difference in y over my difference in x, I get negative 120 divided by 1.5, which becomes negative 80. So that's my slope. And now I'm going to substitute in the slope and the coordinates of one of the points to create the point slope form, and then I'll use that to rewrite in standard form. So I know that my slope is negative 80, and my ordered pair, I think I'm going to use this one here. So my y is 440, and my x is 0. So I'm going to get negative 80x, and y minus 440 stays. And now they want me to write that in standard form. So I'm going to add my 440 to the other side. And then I'm going to subtract or add my 80x to the other side. And I have the standard equation of 80x plus y equals 440. Try number 10. Make sure that you find your slope and then use it to write your point slope, or your point slope form, and then use that to find your standard form. You should have realized that the rate of 4.5 gallons per minute is your slope, so 4.5. And the gas contained 1.5 gallons before being filled, so at 0 time, it was at 1.5. There's your ordered pair. Plugging that into the slope-intercept form and simplifying it, then moving your x and your 1.5 over, you get 4.5x minus y equals negative 1.5. Go ahead and solve for number 11. Once you simplified everything, found your slope, and you should have had the standard form of 2,750x plus y equals 18,000. If you have any questions, please make sure you see your teacher. Thank you.